clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Summer is fast approaching, and it's a great time to get ready for the busy season with help from WAFED Bank. They offer services like Collect Early, which opens your cash flow for the things you need, like hiring summer staff or expanding your product line. Collect Early helps you get your invoices paid in hours, not weeks. What could your business do with more money? Take things to the next level with WAFED Bank and find bankers with the knowledge and services to meet your business goals. WAFED Bank, built for business. WAFEDbank.com, member FDIC.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Worried about your aging parents' bathroom? You can convert that old tub into a walk-in shower with BathFitter. Custom fit, installed in just one day with 0% interest for 24 months. Call BathFitter now or visit BathFitterNW.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. The grim reality is becoming clear at a summer camp that was washed away along the Guadalupe River in Texas. Camp Mystic says 27 campers and counselors are known to have died. Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
There's still 10 girls and one counselor from Camp Mystic that are unaccounted for. And the pain and agony of not knowing your child's whereabouts, it's the worst thing imagined.
CBS's Jason Allen on the aftermath at that camp.
This was just covered in mud and tree branches, and this is a camp that just sits right up on the banks of the Guadalupe River. This would have been a very difficult spot for them to find any sort of higher ground to run to.
Officials say the flooding has claimed more than 80 lives. Now to the White House, CBS's Nancy Cordes reports on the latest trade pressure being applied.
The president saying about 12 to 15 letters are going to go out to countries beginning today, putting them on notice that if they don't start to finalize their deals with the United States, they are going to be hit with much higher tariffs starting in just 3 weeks.
The Treasury Secretary indicates several trade frameworks will be announced in the next 24 hours. President Trump meets at the White House later on today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Middle East expert Aaron David Miller says there's Iran to consider and Gaza.
To end the war in Gaza, you'd have to answer three basic questions, and we're no closer to answering any of them. Number one, what will be the role of Hamas? Number two, what happens to the security environment in Gaza? Then, of course, the problem of Palestinian governance. Who's going to govern Gaza?
Authorities say a 27-year-old man has been killed after opening fire at a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen, Texas. One officer was injured. Overseas, Britons have been observing the 20th anniversary of suicide bombings in London.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. King Charles and Prime Minister Keir Starmer joining survivors and first responders at a service in St. Paul's Cathedral, one of many observances across the capital. Dan Brittle was on one of the 3 underground trains attacked. A city bus was also targeted.
I tried to move my arms and hands, so I realized that my arms and hands were on fire.
52 people died, nearly 800 were injured. Today, a day of remembrance and healing.
A new study shows the health of American children has deteriorated over the past 17 years, with kids today more likely to experience obesity, chronic diseases, and other issues. The research is in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 310 points. The S&P is down 35. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people At O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A possible sighting of the man accused of murdering his 3 daughters near Leavenworth. The story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. A crash is blocking a lane on State Route 167 northbound near Ellingson Road. That's in the Algona area. Some localized slowing there. You are struggling through Bothell on southbound I-405 due to an earlier crash. The Edmonds-Kingston Ferry run should be returning to service after earlier maintenance. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Travel times pretty good. Everett to Seattle 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle 44. Renton to Bellevue 34. Tacoma to Olympia 31. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. U.S. Marshals are combing the Idaho backcountry after a possible sighting of fugitive Travis Decker.
In the Bear Creek area of the Sawtooth Mountains, 20 miles due east of Sun Valley, a family tipped off U.S. Marshals they spotted a man matching Decker, including a cream-colored T-shirt, black shorts, black earrings, ponytail, beard, and a mustache. Last week, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison revealed DNA collected at the campsite near Leavenworth, where deputies accused Decker of killing his 3 daughters, is Decker's DNA.
Blood on the back of the tailgate and also the blood on other items there.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
1 person died and 5 others were rushed to a hospital after a shooting in Cedar Woolley's Memorial Park over the weekend. This witness tells KIRO 7 TV.
First, I thought it was like kids on the playground. They're running and they're screaming and they're playing. And then when they started yelling, hide, hide, and you could hear the panic.
Police say they arrested 1 person and recovered 2 guns. A would-be car thief ends up with a gunshot wound to the stomach. It happened in Redmond last night when the owner of a car told police he interrupted a prowler. The owner says the suspect became aggressive, came at him, and the owner opened fire. No one else was injured, and detectives say the car owner is cooperating. The Edmonds City Council may put a levy on the ballot asking residents to increase their property taxes to help fill a hole in the city's budget. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
The City Council advanced a $14.5 million property tax levy lid lift. A levy lid lift is used to increase revenue in a city beyond the state's 1% levy limit. In this instance, the money would go toward funding police, parks, streets, and sidewalks. The proposal would increase property taxes by about $63 a month for a median valued home.
Pearl Jam is saying goodbye to a longtime drummer. Matt Cameron is leaving the Seattle band after 27 years. In a social media post spotted by the Seattle Times, Cameron writes, "Much love and respect for Jeff, Ed, Mike, and Stone for inviting me into the band in 1998 and for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime." Cameron's played for other Seattle area bands, including Soundgarden. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning. It is the G and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, July 7th. And I just wanted to say this. If you have any list right now, if you have any list that is going on in your house or at work, make sure you know where that list is and who is on that list.
Okay, lists are very important.
Now,
what
Ursula,
you're telling me.
when I think of lists, the first list I think of is your birthday party. Am I on your list?
You are.
I just want to make sure I'm on the list. Now, I don't want you to say that there is a list now and then later on be like, hey, G, there is no list. Then I think that, hey, were you telling the truth about the list?
Oh. Or maybe there was something assumed that was in the list and it turns out, no, there's not.
Right.
Okay.
Because if you did have that list and then somebody might be upset that they weren't on that list, or somebody will find out that somebody was, the list.
Yeah. It's all about the list. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Hey, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We cannot do the show without you. Also, share your thoughts on YouTube if you're watching the show from there. Good morning to all of you there as well.
All right, Ursula, let's get going. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by BathFitter Northwest.
And with With Independence Day now behind us, we now have the tally from Harborview. 47 people ended up in the ER at that hospital alone with fireworks injuries over the 4th of July weekend. Most of those injuries were to the hands, 18 cases total, and another 13 involved eyes. Doctors say the worst injuries happened when people tried to hold the fireworks or throw them after lighting them. One guy showed up to a fire station near Monroe with catastrophic hand injuries. He was rushed to Harborview, still ended up losing his hand.
Yeah.
Seattle Fire logged 345 calls on the 4th, including a fire at a UW frat house. In Snohomish and Pierce counties, fireworks may have sparked multiple house fires, displacing families, destroying cars. One pet, at least, was killed tragically. Tacoma Fire's Chelsea Shepard says an empty building in the Tide Flats also went up in flames on the 4th.
There were some people setting off fireworks in the area who took off after the warehouse building caught on fire.
Okay, we bring this up every single year. But given all the fires, the evacuations, the amputations, I'm going to ask again. Should we finally ban personal fireworks altogether?
Yes. And you started the show with a very misleading sound. Fireworks don't sound like that no more. Go ahead and play that again. They don't sound like this anymore.
These are the pleasant sounds. I didn't want to have people drive off the road.
I know, but go ahead. They don't sound like that anymore, Ursula.
Especially not the ones at 3 a.m. that keep us up.
I made a sweeping statement on the G and Ursula Facebook page. By the way,
you were causing trouble. Chef and I were trying to bring everybody together, show our heartwarming 4th of July pictures, and there's G causing trouble. What was your sweeping statement?
Sweeping statement. I'll say it again. Matter of fact, I'm going to add to the sweeping statement. The sweeping statement on the G and Ursula Facebook page was this. If you are still letting off fireworks after 12 a.m. on July 5th, you don't care about animals. That's where it was. I kept it simple. Now, let me even extend that. If you are still letting off fireworks after 12 a.m. on July 5th, you're a jerk.
I'll give you till after July 5th because people were still
What are you
celebrating.
What are you celebrating?
Well,
on July 5th.
They've got leftover fireworks, so I'll give them through the night of the 5th. But after that, like if you're still lighting fireworks tonight, yeah, you're a jerk. I hate calling people names.
See?
I hate you rubbed off on me. No.
But people,
you're acting like a jerk.
But people were getting on, which I was surprised. People were getting
90% were agreeing with you.
Right. But there were some that would say, well, G, you know what I did? I knew the 4th was coming, so I packed up my animals and I traveled to go somewhere else. Oh, hey, Lois, that's great that you're able to just pack up and go somewhere. My neighbor can't do that. Some of our elderly population, they can't just pack up and leave, right? They are 80-something years old sometimes. They have their animals, right? And you guys are just popping. So Pierce County, unincorporated Pierce County, I'm speaking for everybody. Puyallup, all of them, y'all know what time it was. It is ridiculous, Ursula. It is terrible. And these M80s and 380s and 780s and all these 80s. All 80s.
The 80s were a good decade, but not the fireworks that have 80s in them. Okay, do you agree with G? Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Yeah, is it time to ban personal fireworks? Okay? I think that's going too far. So I'm going to say no. What risks are involved.
In Pierce County, there were 234 calls. 103 of those were calls to fires in Pierce County. What are we talking about? Let's get rid of these dang fireworks. Stop it.
Okay. Text us if you agree. Yeah, Seattle Fire, again, over 345 calls. I mean, that's just crazy. Okay, we have to talk about the other big story, and I'm seeing the headline right now on the network news. At least 89 people were killed in these catastrophic Texas floods. Families in Central Texas are just reeling after these catastrophic flash floods. Dozens of children were killed, and there are still dozens more people missing.
No warnings at all. They came hours later, which was the most devastating part.
At an all-girls summer camp called Camp Mystic, floodwaters rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes before dawn on Friday, sweeping away cabins and campers. 10 girls and a counselor are still unaccounted for. Families returned yesterday to sift through the wreckage. They were pulling out soaked trunks and mattresses. 9-year-old Braden Davis and his 7-year-old brother Brock were at Camp La Junta near the Guadalupe River when the flood started.
Well, when they were saying, like, cabin 6 was, like, in the middle of the flood, I was like, that's crazy because my little brother was in that cabin.
Now, thankfully, they were able to get out safely along with more than 850 people who were rescued across the hill country. Search crews are still scouring the riverbanks right now, going through the debris, down trees, even snakes. And President Trump has signed a federal disaster declaration. He was asked, though, about whether FEMA cuts or slashed weather forecasting budgets played a role.
Are you still planning to phase out FEMA?
Well, FEMA is something we can talk about later, but right now they're busy working, so we'll leave it at that.
In light of the floods, do you think that the federal government needs to hire back any of the meteorologists who were fired in the last few months?
I wouldn't know that. I really wouldn't. I would think not. This was a thing that happened in seconds. Nobody expected it. Nobody saw it. Very talented people are there, and they didn't see it. It's, I guess they said once in 100 years, they've never seen anything like this. So I wouldn't, people are trying to blame the school. They're trying to blame the camp. They're trying to blame, it's just a horrible thing. But no, I wouldn't say that. No.
I agree. Just horrific.
Yeah.
What has happened?
You know what? You be proud of me. I had a plan today to talk about this topic. And I'm going to, because Ted Beener is going to be joining us at 9:30, and I would rather just hear from an expert on that. But here's one thing that I will say. I agree with all of us. It is tragic what happened. It is really the timing of it in which it happened. I know one of the owners for the Kansas City Chiefs, his 9-year-old granddaughter perished in that down in Texas. It's really sad. Up to 80-something people now have died in this. And no matter, I don't want to make this political or anything. I'll just kind of keep it simple. The fact is that during that time, at 3 in the morning, within 45 minutes, you're talking about 25 feet of water raising in that short of time, right? And it happened. And so because of this happening at that time, it was like the perfect, like, lightning strike being captured in a bottle. It's unfortunate, the timing of it. Everybody's asleep. Yes, the experts and all those things. There were warnings, but a lot of people didn't really take heed to those warnings. And again, it hit in the middle of the night. It's just sad.
I appreciate you also withholding some of the political talk that is all over right now. The focus needs to be all these lives that are lost, all these lives that are still missing, and what those lives cannot be in vain. You have to ask. I mean, yes, it's a natural disaster. It was something that, I mean, even the forecasting wasn't able to predict exactly what could happen. But there's got to be some lessons learned. There has to be
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope the lessons that can be learned on this. Me taking a back seat and not making this political. Okay. I'll take that and I'll do that. And as long as going forward, everybody else cannot take it. Don't take measles. Don't make that political, right? Don't take vaccines. Yeah. Don't make that political. So when we are talking about this topic and not making things political, let's stay consistent with that.
Yeah, I think that's a tall ask. That's a tall order, because there are people who are in Congress, members of Congress, who are bringing up things like, I mean, anytime there's something wacky that gets proposed, oftentimes it's attached to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Did you see that she had proposed a bill aimed at banning atmospheric interventions? I mean, Senator Ted Cruz had to come out and say there's no evidence to support any claims that the government is manipulating the weather. But the idea that people in power could potentially think that you have to propose a bill to stop people in the government from manipulating the weather? I mean,
Ursula,
what has happened?
I didn't realize you was going to bring that back up.
But
there was people believing that the weather is being manipulated.
But I wanted to say that Senator Cruz came out, so people need to be vocal and say, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we will have a meteorologist.
Let the record show that Ursula brought that up.
Yes.
I didn't do it.
But a meteorologist, because it's all over the place, unfortunately. But a meteorologist, our own meteorologist, is going to join us at 9:30. Now, the Justice Department has just released a bombshell memo officially stating what some have refused to believe for years, G. And here it is. There is no Epstein client list and no credible evidence that the disgraced financier blackmailed powerful people. That is the conclusion of this internal review that was ordered by Trump-appointed leadership. So just want to remind everybody that back in February, Attorney General Pam Bondi said that the client list, the Jeffrey Epstein client list, was on her desk.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
And again, at that time, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Hubba, who was also a counselor for President Trump, promised accountability for those on the list.
It is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names. That will come out. Now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Okay, but now the memo says this investigation found no evidence of blackmail, no secret list of names, and no foul play in Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 death in federal custody. So according to the DOJ and the FBI, and we can put it to rest now, right? Epstein died by suicide. And newly released jail footage, including enhanced versions, reportedly shows that no one entered the secure area of his cell overnight.
Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, is in prison right now saying, wait, what? Huh? Y'all got me in prison for 20 years. Ghislaine Maxwell, Ursula, has a 20-year prison sentence in there for sex trafficking kids. That's what she's in there for.
So who is?
So basically, they sex traffic kids to nobody. No. I am not trying to be funny. I am telling you what's said. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years for sex trafficking kids with Epstein. And now today, they are telling me, you, and everybody that they basically sex trafficked kids to nobody. You see, Ursula, what has happened is this. You remind me, how you do anything is how you do everything. These people lie so damn much that they are confused that the people that usually believe their lives are not believing it. Half of MAGA right now, they are tripping. They are upset because this is the people that calls for accountability. Ursula, when you're doing your top 5 news, they need to hold these criminals accountable.
Yeah, that's what I say, yes.
And that's what they say. Some of them, Billy is going to get it on his tombstone. Hold the criminals accountable.
So you even heard them say Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, who are now, they're no longer social media influencers in MAGA circles. They are now FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino. They were the ones that were casting doubt on the official story. Weren't they the ones that were going, wait a minute, this is not true. There's a list and there's going to be this list. And now they are the ones signing off on this conclusion that Epstein acted alone and died alone. So I guess I want to ask all of you listening right now, text line 888-973-5476, 888-97-3 KIRO. I'm going to ask you, do you believe this report?
Wait. No, but people accuse me of TDS. So I'm asking my MAGA brothers and sisters that listen to the show, I need your help. I need you to text into the show, 888-973-5476, and help me better understand what's up with the list. And I know they got an answer, because usually they're going to go get some talking points, and then they come back, and they usually educate me.
Well, do you remember that thing that Elon Musk posted and then had to take down after they were no longer...
Oh, he's back talking about it now.
Oh, what's he saying?
He's like, no list? No list? I thought you said there's a list. Why is Elon Musk mad at Donald Trump, y'all?
Because because he's not getting his way with the big, beautiful bill. So now he wants to, we're going to talk about in the 10 o'clock hour, he wants to start his own party for all the people in the middle. He wants to start his own political party. Now, this is not a joke headline. This is actually real.
Can I for 1 second give Donald Trump a little bit of praise?
Yes.
I'm being for real.
We've done it.
I'm being for real.
Yes. No.
Donald Trump, in all fairness, he ran on people having the ability to choose between an electric car and gas cars and everything. He was never going to make this EV mandate a thing. But for some reason, Elon thought he was.
Yeah.
And one thing about Donald don't care. He ain't got no loyalty to nobody. You feel me? So he basically said, hey, Elon, I don't care. Go cry. He doesn't care. Like, his loyalty is to the dollar. Donald Trump only cares about the cash. Not Cash Patel.
Yeah.
K-A-S-H, but
Cash Patel,
C-A-S-H.
he cares about him because it worked out. Okay. Hey, coming up, we are going to have our meteorologist talk about this horrific situation in Texas and give us details coming from a weather standpoint. How's that?
Yes, safe. Good stuff, Ursula.
Okay.
All right, we'll do it next. Gee, Ursula.
A Pacific Northwest community searching for answers.
Tragedy in northern Idaho.
Unbelievable. You just don't expect somebody to do that to a firefighter.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is there.
Those firefighters, they arrived here to put out a fire started by the suspect. They had no idea where those bullets were coming from.
Stay with KIRO News Radio for the latest from the local voices you trust.
Attacks on first responders is sick.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Every
Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words, packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
You probably know Valentine Roofing for, well, roofing. In fact, they were voted best roofing company in the Pacific Northwest 2 years running. But did you know they do much more than just roofing? If you need anything addressed on your siding, gutters, attic insulation, or even exterior cleaning, give them a call. That's what I did. Hey, Jake Skorheim here. I recently had a bit of a moss problem on my roof, which happens here in the Northwest. I called Valentine Roofing to schedule a service, and it couldn't have been easier or faster. And the best thing for my hectic schedule, I didn't even need to be there for the appointment. They did everything while I was at work, and after they finished and cleaned up, I got a link with all the details and photo and video of the service. Valentine Roofing is a name you know, the team you can trust, and the craftsmanship your home deserves. So next time you need work done on your home, whether it's your roof, siding, attic, or gutters, call my favorite home improvement company, Valentine Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today by calling Valentine Roofing at 206-ROOFING or schedule online at valentinерoof.com. That's valentinерoof.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The death toll from Central Texas flooding is staggering. In Kirk County alone, the sheriff says.
As of 8:30 this morning, we recovered 75 deceased bodies here in Kirk County, including 48 adults and 27 children.
Among the dead, 24 girls from a summer camp along the Guadalupe River. 9-year-old Braden and his 7-year-old brother Brock were at a different camp in the area.
The current is just rushing and rushing, and you have no idea what's going on. So I just imagined it for Brock. To be honest, I was more worried about Brock than myself.
Brock and his buddies had to scramble to the rafters when the water came in.
We had to get on the rafters, and then my door flew away.
The boys are back with family now. There were flood warnings, but the river rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes. President Trump is meeting with Israel's prime minister at the White House in the latest effort to get a ceasefire in Gaza. CBS's Natalie Brand.
The big sticking point that's been reported about is, would this ceasefire deal lead to a more permanent end of the fighting?
New Trump tariffs are supposed to kick in this week, but the White House is now indicating that deadline might be moved to August 1st for countries willing to negotiate. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
So it's basically a warning or a threat, if you will, to other countries. Hey, even if you're not happy with where these deals stand, even if you've got outstanding concerns, send us your best offer, cut a deal with us, sign on the dotted line, or you are going to see your tariff rates increase.
There's evidence artificial intelligence is starting to replace entry-level jobs. More from Allie Bauman.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering, but this summer he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for nearly 200 positions.
I was told by a lot of people that I was going to get a job right out of college, and then all of a sudden, there's no jobs.
New research finds now, for the first time ever, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates has exceeded the national unemployment rate, ballooning to 6.6% over the past 12 months.
Wall Street does not like the confusion over Trump tariffs. The Dow is down 444 points, NASDAQ off 167. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, a crash is partially blocking the State Route 16 westbound ramp to State Route 302. That's over in Purdy. After earlier maintenance, there is now a 1-hour wait at the Edmonds to catch in Edmonds at the ferry terminal there. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 44. Renton to Bellevue, 34. Tacoma to Olympia, 31. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s today. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. As you heard in Heather's newscast, the death toll in central Texas continues to go up, even as more rain is in the forecast for those areas surrounding the Guadalupe River. A total of 89 deaths, at least, have been confirmed now, with most of them in Kerr County, where a girls' campground was destroyed by flash flooding in the early morning hours of July 4th. Rescue crews are continuing to search for survivors, but already, as you've been hearing, there is a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blame going around, and we wanted to hear from an expert, and we have asked KIRO radio meteorologist Ted Beener to join us now. Ted, you've written something for mynorthwest.com talking about this just horrific situation in Texas, and also looking at what we could learn about it that would help us here in Western Washington. So first of all, thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's go through the timeline quickly, but where people don't understand, how could all of them have been caught so off guard?
Well, that's a good question. And so let's set the record straight. I went through all of the statements that were issued by the two forecast offices that served that particular part of Texas, northwest of San Antonio. So Thursday afternoon, early in the afternoon, they not only put out a flash flood watch, but they also indicated, and they had a briefing for local emergency officials at the same time. That is very routine. Happens here, happens all across the country when you have a significant event starting to unfold. 6:30 that evening, they updated that flash flood watch, indicating a lot of things like it's going to be a pretty heavy rain. In fact, it might be a historic rainfall event. The ground can't hold this. This is a known flash flood area. By the way, back in 1987, they had a very similar event that was even higher on the river gauge than this one was. This was only the second highest. And then during the early morning hours, as this storm finally developed and started dumping rain in the upper reaches of the Guadalupe, that's when they put out their first flash flood warning just after 1 a.m. that morning. And it went out on the emergency alert system. It went out on wireless emergency alerts for your smartphones. It went out on TV, radio, etc. The problem is it was the early morning hours, and not a lot of folks are paying attention at that particular hour. And I know you're going to raise that. Go.
I actually said that before you came on. I said the biggest problem is that 3:45 in the morning, it caught a lot of people literally sleeping. So I talked about that. So the warnings that they had earlier in the day, you talked about there was one at 6. They were talking about it like this. Why do you think that people maybe did not take heed to those warnings? Were those warnings enough, or did it feel like for the people kind of like, oh, I don't think it's going to be a big deal? What do you think the disconnect was?
I have seen some reports that this is a very flash flood prone area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they get a lot of these kinds of messages.
Mm-hmm.
What I think from the local authorities, this is a holiday weekend, okay? And they know there's a lot of people in the area, but they weren't paying close attention. That is my gut reaction. The people, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the campgrounds, the farmers, anybody else in that region was really not paying that close of attention to the situation.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of reports, I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. Even though at 6:30 the previous evening, this is the possibility of a historic rainfall event was in one of their statements coming out of the
That was
Weather
actually
Service.
one of their statements.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about this girls' camp where most of the victims were, and this is a camp that was along the Guadalupe River. If they had a particular type of radio, and this is going to be one of those things that we look at and say, hey, if you're going to be doing anything, an event like this, there is a particular type of radio that could have helped in this situation. Right?
Absolutely. What frustrates me is that in 1987, they had a very similar kind of event. There were a lot of after-action reports, things that need to be done, and they didn't take care of business in the wake of that particular tragic event. So they should have had a no-weather radio, and it behaves like a smoke detector. So as soon as it receives that flash flood warning via the emergency alert system, it wakes you up. That is the purpose of that. And it's not just for floods. It's for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. Go on down the grocery list. And we have many of these same kind of things in this area. That's another reason why you need a warning receiving tool to be able to get you up at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever hour so that you're aware of these kinds of things, like tsunami warnings or rapidly spreading wildfire that's wind-driven. We have seen that in Maui. We saw it in L.A. here earlier this year. And this is why you got to have more than one means to receive warning messages, and a no-weather radio is one of those key tools.
You're listening to the voice of our KIRO Newsradio meteorologist, Ted Beener, here on the G and Ursula Show. I want to go back to May 2nd of 2025. This was recent. All of the former National Weather Service directors, they put out a statement. And part of that statement was, quote, "Our worst nightmare is that weather forecast offices will be so understaffed that there will be needless loss of life." When it comes to, and I'm not talking about this particular situation, do you think now that there will likely not be cuts made to the National Weather Service deal? And do you think that there will possibly be lessons learned from how important this service is?
That's a really good question. And just recently, a few weeks ago, they decided to rehire about 125 people because they realized that the National Hurricane Center is not fully staffed, and we are just gearing up the hurricane season right now.
Right.
But before these cuts started, the Weather Service had just under 4,000 employees. They're now closer to 3,000 at this point. You've got some offices, at least a dozen that I'm aware of, that can no longer operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including 2 of them in Kentucky that had some of similar kind of flooding earlier this year. So, and several of those offices are here in the western U.S. Pendleton, Oregon is one of those. You've got neighboring offices serving as backup during nighttime hours. So it's really putting a lot of strain, a lot of stress on the staff that is still there and holding the fort, if you wish. Now, in the case of these 2 offices outside of San Antonio, they had all hands on deck.
They did.
They had everybody on board that could be there and working the event as much as possible. Why they didn't get the warning message during those early morning hours, that's what's going to come out of this as we look forward in the coming weeks and months.
Ted Beener, KIRO radio meteorologist, thank you so much for your expertise. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
See, that's what happens, Ursula. You bring on the experts to talk about these things. But what bothers me is when you do have experts that politicize the weather, that politicize climate change, that tell you the opposite because of politics. I like it when you just talk about the real facts of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ursula, coming up next, and we need to talk. Whoa. Somebody told me that Seattle was dying. Someone told me that nobody wants to live in Seattle. So up next, we're going to find out through facts what's happening with that comment and statement. Next, Gee and Ursula.
You listen to John Curley every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
Here's how I start my morning. Get my pot of coffee going, and then I turn on Seattle's Morning News. I listen to Charlie and Amanda. This is how I prep for my show, because I know those guys have, hundreds of years of experience, although Amanda looks better than Charlie. I'm going to get the straight news.
Experience matters. Seattle's Morning News, weekday mornings 6 to 9 on KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
If you have aging parents, you've probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub? It's a slip and a disaster waiting to happen. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. With BathFitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just one day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. Call BathFitter today or visit BathFitterNW.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
At Clear Choice Dental Implant Centers, we get that your teeth, your budget, and your story are all unique to you, which is why our experts who specialize in dental implants will build a custom solution around each patient's needs. With personalized treatment plans and third-party financing options, we'll help you get your new teeth on your terms. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today and let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Office is owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hartley and Brent Wilcox on mobile pasture eggs from Wilcox Family Farms.
Hartley, you work with our mobile pasture barns. Tell us what mobile pasture means.
Well, mobile pasture is using a big tractor to pull the barns to new pasture each week, so the hens have fresh, green, nutritious grass to eat every day.
Why is that important?
Well, hens can get about 35% of their diet from the grass and bugs in the pasture. So before they pick one area clean, we just hook the tractor up and move it to fresh green grass.
And the fresh grass makes for the most amazing colored yolks.
At Wilcox Farms, we have over 500 acres of organic pasture land that ensures we never run out of fresh Northwest grass for our hens.
Always check the carton to make sure it's local.
When you see Wilcox, you know it's local, you know it's fresh.
Wilcox is the only local mobile pasture in the Northwest.
You really have to see videos of how it works.
And you can at wilcoxfarms.com.
Remember, the grass is always greener at Wilcox Farms.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
All right. The topic, the word of the day. Ursula, what is my word of the day?
Receipts.
All right. Do you feel like Seattle is becoming the place to live? Do you think it is dying? My man Jeff in Bonnie Lakes knows that I keep receipts. Well, it seems like a lot of new people think that this is the place to be because the population is growing fast. According to new data by the Washington Office of Financial Management, these are facts.
You're sounding very official right
These
now.
are because when I'm saying facts, Ursula, I have learned when I'm given the news to be very serious and put on my news voice.
Okay.
For the first time ever, Seattle is now home to well over 800,000 people. As of April 1st, the city has an estimated population of 816,000 people. That's nearly 19,000 more than the year earlier. Now, hold on. If you're feeling like this number feels way higher than what you've Googled recently, or the way somebody has told you that Seattle's dying even though they live and work downtown, the U.S. Census Bureau report from last summer in 2024, the city was only at around 781,000. That means the city would have grown by nearly 36,000 people, way more than the city's ever grown in a single year. So why the gap? It comes down to timing and method. The feds use IRS data. Not everybody pays or shows their taxes. We all know that.
Yeah.
Anyways, the feds are
different method of counting.
The feds use IRS data to the state doesn't have, while the state uses Washington-specific sources the feds have skipped. Ursula, I'm done with the news.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Basically, now we've got more accurate numbers, and Seattle is not dying, which is a theme that we've had on the show since its inception. We have some big problems for sure. Yeah. But the city is not on the verge of collapse. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of things that I would like to point out. Even talking downtown, because there was a recent attention on Reddit. A European tourist posted about how he and his family had never felt more unsafe than being in downtown Seattle. Mm-hmm. Now, having traveled in Europe and going to certain cities where there was, before it happened here, in Germany, there was open drug use in certain areas of parks and such. So I have seen some scary situations in Europe too. So, but anyway, apparently these European travelers, which the folks who really root against Seattle or want to continue that narrative about Seattle dying will elevate that and say, see, even people from out of town say this place is a hellhole.
What if you heard me on the air, Ursula? What if you heard me get on here and say, hey, everybody, I want you guys to know that here in the studio, KIRO Radio, it's dangerous in here, y'all. It's dangerous. Every time I walk inside of the studio, it's dangerous. And imagine if I wrote about it every day. And then finally, one of you all say, well, Gee, you say it's so dangerous. You've been going in that studio for 5.5 years. What has happened? Nothing. But for some reason, I keep writing about it. If I am writing, telling you, but if I live and work in this studio and there's nothing that's happening, why am I writing that it's dangerous?
Okay, Steve in downtown Seattle says, you somehow think that Seattle is dying people are all Trumpers who live outside of downtown. I actually disagree with that. But he says many of us live and work directly in Seattle for decades and are trying to be part of the solution. We appreciate that. Seattle was dying under the previous decade plus of failed leadership. The Seattle is dying people are part of the solution. So I am so perplexed and irritated by your mocking of the Seattle is dying people. Steve, it's because there are some people who really do want the city to fail because they believe that it is only going to fail if you have Democrats in power. And that is the narrative that is being pushed, even though things like the Downtown Seattle Association says pedestrian traffic is at 92% of pre-pandemic levels. There are new restaurants, bars, and small businesses that are opening on a regular basis. Seattle added 30,000 jobs just in the past year. Now there are layoffs happening, like there are in the rest of the country. Housing construction, it is booming. There have been over 10,000 new housing units approved. That was in 2023. That was the highest in over a decade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can recognize when you want the city to be the best that it can be.
Yeah.
You want it to be like whatever you thought the glory days were of Seattle. But this whole idea of, oh, my God, it's so horrible here. I can't wait to leave. That's not being part of the solution.
My good buddy Catherine in the 360 brings up a very good point. When you think of Victoria and Vancouver, BC. It's beautiful there, right?
It is beautiful.
But there are a couple streets.
Oh, my goodness.
In Vancouver, right off Richards, right?
That you would feel it's the most unsafe city in the entire world.
And so imagine if I go to Vancouver right now and I take pictures of people right there off of Richards, downtown, and I take pictures of only the people on this street, and I write a whole thing about how terrible Vancouver, BC is.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, because I always want us to look at the other side. Those few blocks that are bad, and by the way, Lower Queen Anne right now is horrible. There are parts of Lower Queen Anne, if I focus on a couple of blocks, they're horrible.
I'll ask this of you and every listener.
I wouldn't believe Seattle's dying if I only focused on those 2 blocks.
Which part of your house is the 12th and Jackson in your house? My bedroom is the 12th and Jackson of my house. I'm telling y'all right now, if you see my bedroom...
Our downstairs office. It's like where everything that we have no place for goes to die.
All right, text in, everybody. What is the worst part of your house? Text in. All right, let's get to it. We got more top news coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Spike O'Neill here. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens gave me back the perfect vision I had up until a few years ago. Now, never need glasses again. Never develop cataracts. Been about 6 months since my RLE surgery. My vision is better than it's ever been in my life. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, privately owned, no corporate shareholders or boardrooms. Dr. Sharp built his business on the principle of always strive to overaccomplish, never overprice. Call 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
For over 50 years, Buc-ee's has provided oil changes, brakes, factory service, and more with expertise and good old-fashioned customer service. No appointment needed, friendly financing available. Visit buc-ee's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. An intense search and overwhelming grief in Texas.
The pain, the shock of what has transpired these last few days has broken the heart of our state.
Senator Ted Cruz getting a look at flood damage along the Guadalupe River. The known death toll is now 89, and Camp Mystic says 27 campers and counselors died in the surge of water. 11 are still missing. CBS's Jason Allen.
We were able to make it down the road to Camp Mystic, and you could see and understand in that moment why it was so difficult to escape. There's a large building on the property. It's the size of a huge barn, and the entire front was blown out. You could see that the doors were not on cabins and windows were not intact. Everything from the grounds was gone.
CBS's Maurice Dubois on scene.
Some blame the National Weather Service for underestimating the flood risk and for lack of urgent alerts. Others note that Kerr County does not have its own flood warning system.
Earlier this year, Texas lawmakers voted down a bill that would have boosted alert systems and communications for first responders. In North Carolina, rain from what's left of a tropical storm has caused major problems.
Flash flooding has left 2 people missing and led to dozens of high water rescues in Durham and the college town of Chapel Hill. Brooke Ellen Self was stuck in her car in Southern Pines.
The nice firefighter came over here and he opened my door and he literally scooped me up.
Many roads and bridges have been washed away. Flooding flooding closed parts of busy I-40, I-85, and I-95. Tens of thousands are without electricity. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Now to the White House. CBS's Nancy Cordes says the Trump administration is urging several countries to come to terms on new deals.
Trading partners will have a few more weeks to kind of come back with their best offer, get their deals solidified before August 1st, or he's going to sort of let his original tariff rates snap back into place.
Well, President Trump meets today at the White House with Benjamin Netanyahu, as we hear from Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein.
The Israeli prime minister's visit to Washington comes amid a growing sense among most Israelis and Palestinians that it's time to end the 21-month-old war in Gaza. On the table is a 60-day ceasefire that would see 10 Israeli hostages released and a large amount of aid enter Gaza. Israel would also withdraw from most of Gaza. During that time, the two sides would negotiate a long-term truce and an end to the war.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 500 points. The S&P is down 58. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
A mass shooting at a park in Cedro-Woolley. Details coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on northbound I-5 near Seneca Street. You're slow from East Lake down to Beacon Hill. Travel time, Seattle to Everett, 30 minutes, just a couple longer than typical. And you're slow on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia, 34 minutes, a few minutes extra there. After earlier maintenance, you now have a 1-hour wait at the Edmonds Ferry Terminal. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. One person is in custody after a deadly shooting in a Cedro-Woolley park. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley reports.
Whitley and her husband Kyle were watching a crime show. They never expected moments later they'd end up steps from a crime scene in real life.
Kids screaming and running from the playground.
Definitely knew it was gunshots.
Police now confirm one person was killed, 5 others were hurt after a shooting outside the community center in Memorial Park.
Police are investigating whether anyone else was involved with that shooting. U.S. Marshals are combing the Idaho backcountry after a possible sighting of Travis Decker, the man accused of murdering his 3 young daughters near Leavenworth last month. A family reported seeing someone who looked like Decker in the Bear Creek area in the Sawtooth National Forest. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says it is also possible, though, that Decker is dead.
He could have taken his own life. He could have succumbed to injuries. We recognize that's a possibility.
There is a $20,000 reward leading to Decker's arrest. Police in West Seattle are trying to determine just what led up to a stabbing yesterday. The 17-year-old victim was in a home in the Delridge neighborhood. She's expected to recover. Police say 2 teens, 1 boy, 1 girl, ran from the house before officers arrived. Harborview Medical Center is tallying up the number of fireworks-related injuries. As of this morning, they say they treated 52 people. That's about on par for a typical year. Most of them involve wounds to the hand. Orthopedic surgeon Chelsea Bowe described those kinds of injuries in an interview from UW Medicine.
There's trauma to the skin, the soft tissues, the tendons that help you move your fingers, the nerves that let you sense your fingers, and then the bones themselves.
Harborview is treating 21 people with hand injuries and 14 with injuries to their eyes. Next week's MLB All-Star Game in Atlanta will have 4 Seattle Mariners on the American League roster.
Munoz ready from the set. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 and it's over.
M's closer Andres Munoz gets his 2nd consecutive nod for the American League. He joins center fielder Julio Rodriguez, Brian Wu, and Cal Raleigh also on the team. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It is July 7th. And if you're listening to the show and you say, well, why is G in such a good mood? I don't know. I have no idea.
You've been spending a lot of time in your backyard. I think it's kind of grounding you.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
That backyard is nice. Ursula, before we get to the news, real quick, I did not properly ask you in front of everyone, how was, did you have fun where you were? I saw a lot of people on the 4th.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we were up first in Bellingham area, but we actually spent the fireworks part at Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
So we enjoyed their fireworks event right there. I could see the U.S.-Canadian border, the border crossing right there from where we were. And there is a park right there. And so we watched fireworks there.
A lot of famous
really
people
cool.
have performed at that area, by the way.
It was really cool. And then my sister's fiance, Walker, plays in a band.
He plays the drums, right?
Yeah, he plays the drums.
Okay.
And so this is the second 4th of July in a row that we watched his band at this bar that is really close to the border crossing.
Okay.
And it's also really close to railroad tracks. And they have a song. It's so funny. They have a song about a freight train. And they always do it right as the freight train is going through.
Oh, wow.
So anyway,
I
say all this. Met some good people. You can see some pictures that I posted on our G and Ursula Show Facebook
boots.
page. There was a woman named Lucy who I looked for the couple that looked the most decorated, the most spirited.
Yeah.
Couple on the 4th.
Yeah.
And I basically made quick friends with them and asked if I could pose with them in a picture because they looked so cute.
Okay.
You know what? And I acknowledge that for a lot of people, either you are feeling like this 4th of July was very different, or I also acknowledge that there's some people who are saying, hey, this is a 4th of July that I feel especially good.
Yeah.
I was in the camp of I'm going to try to concentrate on this being a 4th of July that is about family, and I'm going to continue to focus on what is great.
Guess what people got mad at me about on Thursday last week?
What's that?
Because I said that I was proud to be an American.
Why were they mad?
Oh,
I'm still proud to be an American.
I was going to sing the song. All right, Ursula, we got to get to all the news stuff, so let's get to what's new at 10.
What's new at 10?
So this one caught our eye. A congresswoman from Washington is hoping to create more accountability for the roles that folks play in Congress. This is coming from Representative Marie Gluesenkamp Perez. She, of course, represents Southwest Washington, and she proposed this amendment to enforce ethic guidelines surrounding congressional delegates' cognitive abilities. The amendment failed, but she says that it should be given closer consideration.
What I hear from my neighbors is a conviction that Congress is this amorphous mass that hides behind their offices and are not being run by the elected member themselves, but by their staff. I put a lot of thought into the structural reasons why this happens. There are 535 members of Congress. This is a small number of offices where there are questions of concern. But this damages the credibility of our entire institution. I have rules up, down, and sideways about what kind of hat I can accept as a gift. But there is nothing in the rules about whether I am fulfilling my duties as the person making the decision.
And again, so her idea would be that they should be checked for mental acuity, which I think for any elected office, I never thought I would say this, but I think there's something to it. I mean, sometimes members of Congress can get in there and or let's just say in the White House, and that goes for people with the questions about President Biden and mental acuity and our current president. When we're talking about people in office who are in their 80s, and again, this is not age discrimination, or people who are not even in their 80s, but still say things on a regular basis that make you question, are they all there? One of them being?
Mitch McConnell?
No.
Who you talking
about? He was, no, I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, yeah.
Would be an example.
Yeah. Well, I not only do I agree with this statement, I believe that you can take what she's talking about and you can spread it out in everything that we talk about.
Yes.
Y'all get mad at me. By the way, Katie in Tacoma makes a very good point that it could be its own segment of Guess Why People Are Mad at G. That would be a great segment. But anyway, you all, you all get mad at me when I am talking about when I go to these golf functions and these events. Who do you think are at these golf events? Are there the workers, or is it usually the CEO? Those, as Ursula likes to say, in the C-suites. I'd argue that in most facets of life, there is someone that is getting paid extremely well and those that don't get paid as well that are running the show. When you go to the doctor's office, from the moment you walk in that doctor's office to the second that you leave, I have a real honest question for all of you. How much time do you spend with your doctor? I'd argue that you spend more time
with the assistants.
With the assistants. Yep. With the lovely people at the front desk. With the person that, and as soon as you walk in, and by the way, can y'all stop making us want to get on that damn scale as soon as we walk in there? Can I take my drawers off? Can I take my pants off?
Oh no, I take off my jewelry. I take off everything. And then after they take your weight, why do they want to take your blood pressure?
Right.
Well, could you give me like 5 minutes to chill from my weight? So, okay, but back to your question.
I don't want to beat a dead horse to death. But like, for example, Brother Nick, I'm going to tell you right now, I could not do what we do every day without you, bruh. Your work is harder than what I do.
We all have unique talents, I think, around here.
Well, I'll tell you, I couldn't do what you do ever.
Okay. And I was about to say something.
What was you going to say?
And I'm just going to be, in the spirit of G today, I'm going to be nice and not say what I was about to say. Because I was about to say, speak for yourself. Okay.
I couldn't do what Nick does.
I couldn't either. Yeah, absolutely, I could not. But your point about mental acuity. No, we're talking about when people are in power, and there should be tests to make sure, as the Congresswoman said, she's got all sorts of tests and things that she needs to prove. But when it comes to mental fitness to be in office, there isn't a whole lot in that. So I think she's on to something, and so I hope they do explore it a little bit more. Hey, did you hear about Elon Musk, though? He must
do a third party.
Yeah, so he is following through. He threatened it, and now he's following through.
Okay.
He said, he and President Trump are no longer best buds because of the bill that passed, the massive bill that passed. So over the weekend, Elon Musk announced the launch of the America Party. Did you see this on X? I'm still not on X. But he calls the bill a disgusting abomination and is accusing both parties of bankrupting the country. So the president is saying this is a ridiculous move. He says third parties just add confusion. It is unclear if Musk has formally registered the party. But again, the dude has a lot of money. He did play a big role in getting President Trump elected, as he likes to tell everybody. He says he plans to target every lawmaker who backed the bill in the 2026 midterms. Do you think they should be scared? Do you think that Elon Musk has any chance of creating a third party? You listening right now, would you want to have a third party?
I'm about to answer that.
Okay.
I'm about to answer that. Elon Musk right now is like one of those tech bros. You got a lot of money, but you ain't got no more juice. Have you ever met somebody that's rich but has no juice? They rich, but they corny. They're rich, but they can't even walk with just regular down the street. They barely can just move. That's Elon Musk right now. Elon Musk, you're rich, but you have no juice. And what gave you juice? Trump. Donald Trump gave you juice, man. Donald Trump is the reason why you had people saying, yeah, I'm going to get rid of my pickup and I'm going to get me an EV.
I think Elon Musk, you say he has no juice. I think he just needs to get out of politics. He needs to back it out. Because think about, I don't like the guy, but he is brilliant. And he has created a lot of things, whether it's the space program, EV, all of that. He needs to back out and kind of focus on what he's really good at and where he can make huge strides. Remember, his company saved those astronauts that were stuck in space forever.
You know what America is fascinated with? And I'll argue. You want to know what I was fascinated with? I watched a lot of gangster movies growing up. I don't know why, but I did. watched The Godfathers. I watched Scarface. I watched Goodfellas. I could go on and on. Maybe some of you listening right now can attest to watching gangster movies. Donald Trump is a gangster. Donald Trump walks the land and he got the juice. Whether you like him or not, my man, people don't even care about his policies. They just care about the way that he makes them feel. It reminds me of when my grandmama used to go to church all the time. And I was wondering why my grandmother, who didn't have that much money, would go and take all of her little pennies and give it to this mega church. Mega, not MAGA, mega church, MEGA. Mm-hmm. These big churches where the pastors got all these cars, the pastors got all this money.
But they want to feel like they belong.
Boom.
Okay, well, question. I don't know if you heard this, because a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. Okay, so are we in agreement? There's no chance that Elon Musk's third-party effort is going to do much. He's not going to have that kind of success.
Because he has no juice.
Well, there's a whole number of actual reasons, like our system, our system of government, our electoral system is built for two parties. But would you feel like you best identify with one party? This is a question for everybody. I mean, I think I know the answer.
With all of the things we did with the tax cut.
First of all, I never. You know, growing up, I've told all of you.
Yes.
I never joined a gang.
Yes.
I've never been part of a gang, so I'm not one of those people that goes along to get along. However, there are people that do join gangs. There are people that do get in friend groups just to feel like they can belong. There are people that back in high school, they wanted to be a part of the cool table. So I've never been part of gangs, so I don't identify with none of them.
Yeah.
Democrats, Republicans. Matter of fact, the Democrats right now are the Drake of politics. That's what the Democrats are. They're the Drake of politics. They're outdated. They don't do nothing. They're talking about the past. Nothing. They're getting beat up every single time. Every time the Democrats get in the ring, the Republicans just punch them in the mouth. I like winners.
Funny you mentioned that, G. I mean, I still would align more with one party, and that would be the Democratic Party. But yeah, and I'm going to guess that would be you too.
Yes.
However, there are areas where I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm represented by either party. And that's where a lot of people are going independent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on Thursday, as you know, President Trump's bill passed. No support from Democrats. And that same day, at a rally in Iowa, President Trump actually critiqued Democrats. As long as you're critiquing them, he also critiqued them for not voting for his so-called big, beautiful bill.
With all of the things we did with the tax cuts and rebuilding our military, not one Democrat voted for us. And I think we use it in the campaign that's coming up, the midterms, because we got to beat them. But all of the things that we've given, and they wouldn't vote only because they hate Trump. But I hate them too, you know that? So it's sort of, I really do, I hate them. I cannot stand them because I really believe they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
So I just have a question, I guess. I have a question.
Okay.
And I know that Trump is in a whole category of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be acceptable from any other president?
No.
Past or future?
No on the past, yes on the future.
You think you don't think that this is a one-off?
No.
I mean, I listened to that, and I think if it weren't for it being Trump, I would have more to say. But it's like, well, that's just par for the course.
Ask my man Ernie from Kent. He was down at our breakfast yesterday morning. Kai, one of our listeners, was down at our breakfast yesterday morning.
Nice.
So the things that I'm saying right now, I say this when I'm not on the air. I said this yesterday at the breakfast table. Imagine sitting down to do a deal. You got to sit down across from someone, and you guys are going to sit down, and let's talk this over, and let's make a deal. And as soon as you sit down, that person slaps you in the face. Then you come back the next day for the deal, that person slaps you again in the face. And every time you sit down to talk, you just keep getting slapped in the face. What I'm saying is that when Donald Trump says things like, I don't like them and I hate them and I hate this party and all that stuff. There are people right now that feel like, yes, Donald Trump, we like that you're saying that because we feel that this system has been doing us wrong. And so, Donald Trump, when you put a middle finger up towards the system, you make us feel seen. And that's why the Democrats keep losing. Because Donald Trump, it doesn't matter about the policy. Nobody cares about the policy. They just care about how they feel. So right now, Donald Trump is winning when he has people feeling a certain type of way. And so Donald Trump sits down at the table and he smacks that other person in the face.
Now, I want to know, do you agree with G? Because I think this is a one-off. I just don't think that this is something that is going to be it's unacceptable in my opinion, but there are many people who accept this. It wasn't right for Hillary Clinton. Imagine when she said deplorables. I mean, how that was.
Yeah. And how
just the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But he's flat out saying, I hate them.
And then he's going to, so Donald Trump's going to say, I hate them. By the way, this topic was at the breakfast table yesterday. Donald Trump will go around and say, I hate them. And then the next time you or your brother or your friends or your loved ones, you guys have a party and you're watching UFC, guess who's going to be there? Donald Trump is going to be at the UFC match. Why? Because that's where the people are. When the Democrats start to learn.
But again, I say this is unique to him. I cannot imagine that we are going to continue down this path.
The Pandora's box is open. It's never closing. This is the future. This is how it's going to be. You see in New York, you see how that man is winning and trying to dominate for mayor? Guess who doesn't like him? The Democrats don't like what he's doing because that is against the establishment. That's not how it's supposed to be done. We are in a new day, and until people start to realize and wake the hell up, you're gonna keep losing. Talked about it.
Okay. Put a lot of red meat out there.
All right.
888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
You gotta come with it.
I'm not buying everything you just said. I think it's a one-off. I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
You know, I'll say this back to you.
We cannot. This is just not sustainable.
If we keep trying to do things the same way.
Oh, that's true.
Can't be done. Okay, y'all. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, coming up next, have you ever solved the Rubik's Cube? Are you one of those people that have done it? Well, we're going to be talking about that next, and one 4th of July event that needs to be done with. And we'll talk about it next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
You listen to John Curley every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
Here's how I start my morning. Get my pot of coffee going, and then I turn on Seattle's Morning News. I listen to Charlie and Amanda. This is how I prep for my show, because I know those guys have, hundreds of years of experience, although Amanda looks better than Charlie. I'm going to get the straight news.
Experience matters. Seattle's Morning News. Weekday morning 6 to 9 on KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I always say, know where your food comes from. And for the best tasting food, choose locally fresh. Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. So, our family can keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
You just invested in new gutter guards to keep the junk out. So why are they clogged with moss and gunk? Well, here's the missing link between just any gutter guards and ones that actually work. You see, most gutter guards, sure, they stop leaves, but they don't stop what grows on them. Moss, algae, grime, they take over, turning your new gutter guards into a plugged, soggy mess. And that's where Moss Eater's gutter guards come in. They're changing the game. It's the only gutter guard with copper-infused tech. That means moss, algae, and gunk won't grow on it. It's like having a built-in Moss Eater on your home. And look, at Moss Eaters, we're not just going to install your guards and then let you fend for yourself. No, we're going to maintain your roof too. Because a clean roof and clog-free gutters means no water, no leaks, and no stress. Get the only gutter guard that truly fights back. Call Moss Eaters at 206-531-7800 or visit mosseaters.com today. That's 206-531-7800 or online at mosseaters.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive's AutoQuote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box, or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's AutoQuote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking immunotherapy. But research is underfunded and kids need your help. Join Safeway and say yes at checkout to donate to ImmunoHeroes. Let's fight cancer for all kid kind.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
We need your prayers.
The mayor of Kerrville, Texas, more than 80 people are confirmed dead from flooding in the central part of the state. Among the victims, more than 24 girls camping along the Guadalupe River. CBS's Jason Allen.
We were able to make it down the road to Camp Mystic, and you could see and understand in that moment why it was so difficult to escape. There's a large building on the property. It's the size of a huge barn, and the entire front was blown out. You could see that the doors were not on cabins and windows were not intact. Everything from the grounds was gone.
Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz.
There will naturally be a process of looking back and assessing, okay, how could this disaster have been averted? And I will say as a dad, it is frustrating that those girls were not out of harm's way earlier.
One person is confirmed dead, 2 people missing after flash flooding in Chatham County, North Carolina. Hundreds had to be rescued from high water. Authorities in McAllen, Texas, say a 27-year-old man opened fire on a Customs and Border Protection office this morning. No motive. CBS's Chanel Call.
Not sure how many rounds that were fired by the suspect in this case. They said, quote, many dozens of rounds fired by the suspect towards the building and towards agents in that building.
One McAllen police officer was wounded. The suspect died in a shootout with federal agents. New Trump tariffs are supposed to kick in this week. CBS's Natalie Brand reports.
The president says that letters are going out to up to 15 trading partners, and it seems that the aim of these letters are to get countries to kind of move things along, as the Treasury Secretary said, or face those steeper tariffs that were announced back in April. The reciprocal tariffs, as the administration has called them.
The White House is indicating that deadline might be moved to August 1st for countries willing to negotiate. A new study shows the benefits of a 4-day work week.
A UK campaign group called the 4-Day Week Foundation organized a 6-month trial to look at the impacts of a shorter work week for about 1,000 UK employees. Here's what they found out. Companies reported higher revenue with fewer sick days taken, and all 17 companies participating ended up keeping the shorter work week.
Tariff talk has spooked Wall Street. The Dow is down 484 points. NASDAQ is off 182. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on northbound I-5 near Seneca Street. You're really only slow right through the downtown area. You're slow on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia, 38 minutes. That's about 5 minutes longer than usual. Other travel times looking pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 26 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 26. Renton to Bellevue, 19. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It is, 66 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. It is a Monday morning, and it is just rushing. What's going on? You got a look of wonderment.
This song?
Yeah.
I was thinking about my next door neighbor all morning this morning.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, your neighbor who came over for help? Or
no, my neighbor back growing up in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking about him this morning. He passed away in 2016. And this morning I was thinking about him a lot. This song right here was one of his favorites. He would sing it all the time. So the fact that Nick played it just
it's with you.
Just made me say, wow. All right, what do you got, Ursula?
Okay, well, Have you ever done the Rubik's Cube or tried? And the reason
I've only cheated. I've taken the stickers off.
Oh, so that there are no colors, and then they all.
No, I put them all on one side.
Some say that's more work, actually. You're putting more effort in with that.
Okay, well, it has been a goal of mine to do the Rubik's Cube.
You ever done it?
Not within a day.
So are you saying your Scrabble game is better than your Rubik's Cube game?
My Scrabble game is, I want to say unmatched, but that's a little braggadocious. Okay, so this weekend, the best Rubik's Cube solvers in the world are going to be competing right here in Seattle. So this is this upcoming weekend, Sophia?
Yes.
Okay, so the 12th Rubik's World Cube Association World Championship is going to be happening at the Seattle Convention Center. They're going to be, imagine this, 2,000 speed cubers from 74 different countries already registered to compete. And it is a sold-out event. It's going to feature speed cubing experts solving it in mere seconds. A champion will be crowned, and the events will include timed, fewest moves, blindfolded, and one-handed. Okay.
I got a sweeping statement.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear it?
Of course you do. So what is it?
Ladies, head to this event. Everybody
Sold
in the
out.
crowd that's there watching someone figure out a Rubik's Cube, that's the man you want to go marry.
Oh.
Think about it. Someone chooses for their free time, they're going to go watch other people try to solve a Rubik's Cube. That needs to be your boo.
Well, what about the people solving the Rubik's Cube?
I mean, that's even bonus. That's like getting backstage with the musician.
Okay. So Rubik's Cube, that is something, being able to solve, do it one-handed, blindfolded, all that, I have great admiration. It is just something I couldn't do. You were talking about Nick running the board. That is another thing I could not do.
Yeah.
Nick putting together music and figuring out music, he's just light years ahead of
At the end of scenarios, he comes up with something to say.
Poetry,
the poetry,
exactly. Yeah, within seconds.
No,
that's not happening. Okay. What about this, though? Okay, so what are some things? So this is the question I have for all of you.
Okay.
This audience participation.
Yeah.
What makes a skill more worthy of recognition than others? Like, why is it that we have great admiration for people who can do Rubik's Cube?
Well, I'm gonna say I'll say this. I think that the skill that I was born with. That's something that, like, this is something that I didn't have to learn, is when I was younger, and you know how, remember when your teacher would ask you to read out loud?
Yes.
A lot of kids didn't like that.
I loved it too.
I would always volunteer to read. I loved to stand up in front of the class and talk.
That's so funny.
I had no idea that speaking in front of people was a fear of a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's one of the top fears.
So, Ursula, the man upstairs didn't bless your boy. Like, Lillian tells all the time she does not have a handy man. I can't do nothing with my hands, but I can do everything with my mouth.
But you know how to call. You know how to call for help. You know who to call and how to call for help.
That's what I'm saying.
This is good.
What can you do, Ursula?
Okay.
What's your skill?
I think one of my. I know how to pick really good desserts. No, I can hear a song. I can hear a song, and I have perfect pitch. So I can hear a song and I can play it almost immediately on the piano.
What?
Not to the. I mean, like
my
the melody.
grandmother could do that.
Or I could tell you, like, if you sing some notes, I can tell. It's kind of worthless, though. I can tell you what note you're singing. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's just a weird way that my brain works. And something that I know not everybody has. So I used to be the pitch pipe. I was in many different choirs, and I was the pitch pipe.
What's a pitch pipe?
Basically, hey, our choir director would say, "Could you give me a B flat?" And then I would sing, the note.
Oh, okay.
And it just start. Yeah, no. Yeah,
right.
But I want to get into something else.
All right. What's a B flat?
B flat.
Oh.
Okay.
What's
but anyway,
A plus?
A sharp.
Oh, A sharp.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, here's a skill that I think we were talking about needs to go away. And maybe you don't agree with us, but you know the whole hot dog eating championship?
Nasty.
Joey Chestnut, He won again this year in New York City, taking back his title.
70 hot dogs? That's nasty.
3, 2, 1. Put down your hot dogs. Ah!
Joey Chestnut is top dog once again. The world's greatest eater downed 70.5 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes, capturing the mustard yellow belt for the 17th time.
This is what I love. It was electric. Dogs were great. My last 2 times competing here, I did 62 and 63, so it was nice to get back in the 70s. Next year, I feel like there's definitely I can improve.
That's nasty.
Okay, do you have admiration for Joey though?
No. No, actually, yeah. 70 hot dogs.
That's a
and the
lot.
way they do it, they dip it in the water, the bread in the water, and
You got $10,000 for that.
When you scroll through the channels and find that on the sports channel, are you able to stay on there and watch it?
No.
I can't stay on that channel. No. I'm like, no, I can't watch it.
By the way, please text in your skills that you have. Glenn in Atlanta says, I played the tuba at Tennessee State. Jay and Lacey says, my wife says me being able to back up a 35-foot garbage truck on
good.
the right side is a driving skill that a lot of people don't have.
Yes, parallel parking. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Being able to do it in 2 moves.
Oh, Sophia, what's your skill? What's the one skill you got, girl?
Oh my God, I don't know. I mean, I have a pretty photographic memory, so I can look at text or something pretty briefly, for just a few minutes, and then I'll be able to regurgitate it right after.
Oh, that's a big one. I wish I had that skill.
It's really helpful in this job, I will say.
Nick, is there any other skill that we don't know about of yours?
No, very similar to Ursula. I have a good ear. I have, I can get keys and songs and the first few seconds of bands I really like. I'm like, oh, it's that song, that artist, that kind of thing.
Did you see what Sarah in Ferdale said?
What'd Sarah say?
Dang, Ursula, I checked and you nailed it.
Oh.
She checked my B plus. Hey, B flat.
Hey, text in right now. What's your skill? All right, coming up next, scenarios. Gee and Ursula.
You listen to Charlie and Manda on Seattle's Morning News every morning. What do they listen to every afternoon?
I listen to John all the time when I'm driving home, driving my kids around.
I also listen to the John Curley Show, and even by the end of the day, I still like to keep my brain active, and he's very good at doing that.
John, first of all, is hilarious. I never know where this dude is coming from.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute with KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
You might be thinking about updating your bathroom, but then you might be worried, it's going to be expensive or it could take forever to get done. That is certainly not the case when you choose my friends at BathFitter. With BathFitter, you can have a gorgeous, updated bathroom installed in just one day, but backed by a lifetime warranty. My friend Sharon recently bought a condo, and she told me the bathroom was in terrible shape. I told her about BathFitter, and after doing her own research, she came to the same conclusion that I did. Compared to others in the market, BathFitter offered the highest quality and the best value, and in her words, by far. She ended up with a beautiful bathroom that immediately increased the comfort and the value of her new home. BathFitter's quality is truly unmatched. They have more than 40 years experience, and it's no wonder they have more than 2 million happy customers. And right now, you can take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months. Call BathFitter today or visit BathFitterNW.com to schedule your free consultation.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, Spike O'Neill
O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I keep getting questions from our listeners. When's the right time to have this procedure? My eyes are changing. Should I wait until they're done changing?
Well, I always tell patients, do it now. Don't wait. Whatever age you are, and that's part of the mission of Sharp Vision, is that whatever age you are, whatever prescription you have, we try to find a procedure that works for you. When you're young, LASIK and PRK are great procedures. As we get older, the refractive lens exchange becomes more appealing because that can fix whatever glasses prescription, whether you're farsighted, nearsighted, or have astigmatism, and it fixes it permanently so you don't develop cataracts, and it allows you to see near without glasses.
Do what I did. Schedule a consultation to learn everything you need to know from the best Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E-vision.com.
With Clear Choice dental implants, one day can make the difference between hiding your smile and saying cheese. Thanks to our dental implant experts, our one-day teeth transformation culminates in your Clear Choice Day, the day when you start loving your smile again. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today. And let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Majority qualify for same-day dental implants after doctor recommendation. Offices owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. I got to tell you before I get to scenarios, it's really cool seeing you all text in some of your skills that you have, that you're like your talents that you're born with. It's pretty cool. 253 says, my skill is picking the perfect size of Tupperware for leftovers every time. Hold on.
I love that.
That is a skill. I am the worst. Terrible. I be trying to stuff things in there knowing I need something bigger.
And then you finally find the one you need and you don't find the matching lid. And it's just over, you know? It's over.
Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I hope I'm not bugging you guys with this scenario, but I gotta tell it. My girlfriend and I were leaving the drive-thru last night, about to turn left at a red light. I reached into the bag to get some of them fries. There's blessings in the bag, as you say. And my girlfriend says to me, hold on, what are you doing? I told her, what? I'm hungry. And she went off on me. She said that there was a homeless guy holding a sign. You guys know I like to say unhoused. There's an unhoused guy holding a sign right there, and you're going to eat right in front of him? That's just mean. Wait until we pass him so he can't see you eating. What? I'm supposed to not eat in my car because I'm in the line of vision of someone asking for handouts? Really? How should I have responded to my girlfriend on this topic? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Or you have to bat first.
You should have responded by being truthful and saying, I'm sorry. I didn't even see him there. I'm hungry, and there's no mean intention. But maybe you don't know your girlfriend well enough. Do you have a girlfriend who is a serious empath? Someone who feels so deeply and sees things around the world? Do you have those empath? I think of myself as an empath, but I don't think I'm an extreme empath. But there are some people who will point out things that maybe you have not even noticed.
Right.
And it may be that is the situation. And again, if she's unforgiving in that way, and if this is not just the only thing, if this is a one-time situation and she just points that out, makes you think about it, that's not a big deal. But if that's about everything and she's going to critique everything that you do and assume the worst about you, either it's going to be a long, hard relationship or you need to understand better how she sees the world.
That's a good answer, Ursula. Good answer. What do you got there, Sophia?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it. You said it really well, Ursula. I think it does become a complicated issue because obviously you want to be aware and sensitive of your own privilege in those type of situations, but at the same time, in your own car and you're eating your fries, it kind of becomes a lot, you know. And I think that's just kind of some people take that on more than others.
John in Maple Valley, he says, I would have told her to pound sand and then just go eat my food.
Hey.
That relationship wouldn't last very long.
Look, I always say, and who said it best? You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. Who said that? And what movie? But Ursula, this is one of those, Ursula, you got to let her win this. This is not one that you want to battle.
Right.
See, the one thing that I've learned getting older, all of my brothers out there, y'all that have been married a long time, I think that this is a special skill that you need to have to stay married a long time. You don't need to win every battle. Go ahead and let her have that one. Yeah. Did you get the fries?
Say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like,
I didn't even. I'm sorry. I should have. Hey, how about let's go through the drive-thru again, buy a bag of fries, and give it to the homeless person.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. And then when she says hold on, you say, oh, okay. And then you go and you get past them and then you eat your fries.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to your own advice?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Yes, I do.
Some of those that you just say, hey, I'm not even going to try to win this one.
I don't try to win all the arguments.
Lillian? Text in. Lillian.
Hey, I don't try to win them. Don't try to win them. All right, let's check in with Nick.
Well, you know, I don't see it as a big deal to eat in front of the guy in the corner. There's no blatant purpose of spite or projection. If it makes the lady upset, you know, though, I'm waiting for it. It's only for a moment or two, but I get that short amount of time feeling that eternity for wanting those blessings in a bag, you know. You know what G said? Pick your battles, you know, take one for the team in this one, but I you know, it's only for a minute. You don't have to eat, so just wait a minute or two.
That's what I'm saying. Look, Ursula, I'm telling you. Sometimes you just don't, just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to lose this one here. Lose that one.
My bad. Say my bad.
Like, you know what?
Man, these fries weren't that good anyway. I shouldn't have been so selfish and eat these hot McDonald's fries.
Oh, man. Now we talk about food on the show. By the way, we talked a lot about food the other day on the show.
I heard it was a party. When I was gone.
Oh, it was a straight up party.
We had some fun, you know.
Hey, but you be proud, Ursula. We covered the news. All right. We got the 11 o'clock hour that's happening. We're going to tell you all of the top news. Ursula's going to do that at the top of 11. And again, we'll have Agree to Disagree. That'll happen at 11:30. So stick around. We got a full hour of the G and Ursula Show next.
I keep holding on. I keep holding on. Oh.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experience for the thinking person with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup?
Something I can solve myself?
Try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear?
Call Apollo Plumbing.
The Ready Right Now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger wielding plumber.
A clean screen trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy.
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
You know, I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
G and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The death toll from the floods in Texas is now at least 90, with many still missing.
I need to tell my community and those families who are waiting, this will be a rough week.
Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring, 27 of the victims were campers and counselors from a girls' camp along the Guadalupe River. Senator Ted Cruz.
There's still 10 girls and one counselor from Camp Mystic that are unaccounted for. And the pain and agony of not knowing your child's whereabouts, it's the worst thing imaginable.
CBS's Maurice Dubois.
We got to look at rescue operations from the air, where the Coast Guard is scouring the area around the Guadalupe River for any sign of the missing.
We want to do everything that we can in our ability to help find any survivors that are still out there.
Since floodwaters inundated Central Texas Friday, crews in helicopters and on the ground have saved hundreds of lives.
Authorities say the death toll is likely to grow. President Trump will host Israel's prime minister at the White House later today. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem. A lot of Israelis support the latest ceasefire proposal for Gaza.
There is a growing sense in Israel that continued fighting in Gaza is not achieving any more military aims, with more than 20 soldiers killed in the past month. Polls show that 2/3 of Israelis support a 60-day ceasefire that would see the return of 10 living hostages and 18 bodies, and large amounts of aid would enter Gaza.
The Trump administration is revoking the terrorism designation of a group led by Syria's new president. It's part of a broader effort to work with the transitional government there. More immigrants may be losing their protected status in this country, as CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez reports.
The Department of Homeland Security has announced this morning that it will terminate the temporary protective status programs for immigrants from Honduras and Nicaragua, and announcing that their legal status and deportation protections will lapse and expire starting in early September.
President Trump is sending letters to trading partners, warning them higher tariffs could kick in August 1st without a deal. Japan and South Korea have been notified of a 25% tax on their goods. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the White House.
Treasury Secretary says more deals will be announced in the next 48 hours or so, but he also says that he believes the president is focused on quality over quantity.
Investors on Wall Street are nervous about the latest salvo in the trade war. Stocks are down across the board. The Dow off 498 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A possible sighting of the man accused of murdering his 3 daughters near Leavenworth. That story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. I'm not seeing any major blocking problems. You are slow on State Route 18 from about the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90, and you're crawling along I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia is 50 minutes. That's 20 longer than usual. Otherwise, your travel times are pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 28 minutes. Federal Way to 25. Renton to Bellevue, 18. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. U.S. Marshals are combing the Idaho backcountry after a possible sighting of fugitive Travis Decker.
In the Bear Creek area of the Sawtooth Mountains, 20 miles due east of Sun Valley, a family tipped off U.S. Marshals they spotted a man matching Decker, including a cream-colored T-shirt, black shorts, black earrings, ponytail, beard, and a mustache. Last week, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison revealed DNA collected at the campsite near Leavenworth, where deputies accused Decker of killing his 3 daughters, is Decker's DNA.
Blood on the back of the tailgate and also the blood on other items there.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
1 person died and 5 others were rushed to a hospital after a shooting in Cedro Woolley's Memorial Park over the weekend. This witness tells KIRO 7 TV.
First, I thought it was like kids on the playground. They're running and they're screaming and they're playing. And then when they started yelling, hide, hide, and you could hear the panic.
Police say they arrested 1 person and recovered 2 guns. A would-be car thief ends up with a gunshot wound to the stomach. It happened in Redmond last night when the owner of a car told police he interrupted a prowler. The owner says the suspect became aggressive, came at him, and the owner opened fire. No one else was injured, and detectives say the car owner is cooperating. The Edmonds City Council is poised to put a levy on the ballot asking residents to increase their property taxes to help fill a hole in the city's budget. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
The City Council advanced a $14.5 million property tax levy lid lift. A levy lid lift is used to increase revenue in a city beyond the state's 1% levy limit. In this instance, the money would go toward funding police, parks, streets, and sidewalks. The proposal would increase property taxes by about $63 a month for a median valued home.
Pearl Jam is saying goodbye to a longtime member. Drummer Matt Cameron is leaving the Seattle band after 27 years. In a social media post spotted by the Seattle Times, Cameron writes, "Much love and respect for Jeff, Ed, Mike, and Stone for inviting me into the band in 1998 and for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime." Cameron has also played for other Seattle bands, including Soundgarden. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s at 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the G and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, July 7th. Ursula, not only is this show going by fast today, so is 2025. It's going by fast. But before you know it, Ursula, as a matter of fact, isn't your birthday party like a month and a day from now?
Yes, it sure is. I know. You know what? I feel bad about talking about my birthday party, because if I had my way, I would invite the entire region to my party.
Well, it's almost, I know one of our bosses is listening right now. It would almost be like it would be a really good idea to have a G and Ursula show,
Get together
live, listen to the show.
We've talked about it since the beginning of the show.
5.5 years.
I know, but guess what? Our boss will tell us, y'all need to do the planning, and then let's talk about it. So it's going to be put right back on us. So it's up to us to make it happen.
So you all know, you all that listen to the show, if the planning is going to get done, it's all going to fall on G's shoulders. So
not G.
If you guys are expecting G to get the work done, in how many years will we have the G and Ursula Show party?
In other words, Ursula, until you get your act together, it's not happening. I think that's what you're saying.
Yep.
Hey, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Our text line has been very busy. How are we doing on YouTube?
Yeah, you know what?
I think you need to tell people what you're wearing.
YouTube has turned into something different.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. YouTube.
Are they getting mean?
Well, yeah. They like to be heard.
Okay. Well, we need to give them more attention. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can watch us there, or you could, and if you unfortunately cannot catch all of our show, just a reminder that you can also catch up, because a lot of our listeners listen on podcast, and we appreciate you there as well. Okay, but let's get to it.
Top stories at 11
on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, so we mentioned that nearly 50 people ended up in the ER at Harbor View with fireworks injuries over the 4th of July weekend. Most of them were severe hand injuries. Many also had eye injuries. There was one guy who walked into a fire station near Monroe, ended up losing his hand because of fireworks. Seattle Fire Department said they had more than 350 calls on the 4th, or close to 350 calls, including a fire at a UW frat house where they were lobbing fireworks. We asked the question at the beginning of the show, is it finally time to ban personal fireworks? Which I said, no, not a total ban, but I agree with, after a certain point, you got to just stop letting them off, and it should be banned. I'd even give a few hours after the 4th, so like into the 5th. But you said...
I gave a sweeping statement, one that in the 9 o'clock hour, Ursula agreed with, and my sweeping statement was simple. It was, if you are still letting off fireworks after 12 a.m., on July 5th, you're a jerk.
You're acting like a jerk. That's what I said.
And
I clarified. And I said I give you a few hours after midnight. But after that, can you just be done?
So, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the person at 2 a.m. that is still lighting off fireworks. I want you, Ursula, since you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, tell me why someone is lighting off fireworks at 2 a.m. Are they sober? Are they sober?
Because they're still celebrating, and now everyone's gone, and they still have that big pile of fireworks that they bought probably at one of the tribal reservations. They got all those fires. It is an investment, and they're still feeling in the spirit. Okay, I can give you that much. But now we're talking about the 6th, the 7th, and then, why was it happening also on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th? It's too much. A lot of folks agreed with you. So just wanted to share
How about my sweeping statement? You agreed with it. You agreed with it.
I said you're acting like a jerk. There's a difference. I don't like to call people jerks. Okay, 253. 253 said, son-in-law is a firefighter. The stuff he sees on the 4th is horrific. One life lost should be enough to ban them. Mark in Seattle said, okay, because you were also saying some people have the privilege of being able to pack up and get away from the fireworks. He says, where are we supposed to go? We were camping on Whidbey, surrounded by state park and protected areas. It was close to 2 miles to the closest house. We still have to give our dog the special cheese because she is so traumatized by all the fireworks.
Special cheese?
Yeah, I think that's with the medication in it.
Oh, special
probably.
Cheese. I thought it was like a certain type of cheese.
Yeah. Deanna in 425 says, I understand we're celebrating something that's a big deal. However, it is selfish to put all those people's lives in jeopardy simply because you think it's your turn to light off. It is just very frustrating to be married to a military veteran who suffers every year at this time because people for a week just blow stuff up.
No,
that's something that
serious.
people don't think about. PTSD. Yes.
Right. And again, for all of my brothers and sisters down in unincorporated Pierce County, it was crazy. It was just non-stop, Ursula. I mean, 2, 3 in the morning. What possibly could you be celebrating? Why are you doing this at this time? So, yes, ban them. And for sure, in all of these different 80s, the M80s, the 780s, these big old bombs, that ain't regular fireworks. Those are explosives.
Scott in Auburn points out $1,776 fine for fireworks detonation after midnight July 4th. I would subscribe to that. Then you would just have to have enforcement of it because as Jeff in Bonnie Lake pointed out, there are counties that have fireworks bans in place, but people set them off with no consequences. Should they be enforced more? I guess the
think
question
so, but
would be,
I don't. I can't speak for what law, in Seattle or any other place.
They have too many calls. I mean, they're dealing with fires. How many fires did you say in Pierce County alone?
Oh, they had 274 calls. There were 103 fires that they attended to.
They're busy, so they're not going to respond to someone saying someone's still blowing off fireworks in the park in my backyard. I mean, they're not going to have time to deal with that. They're dealing with emergencies.
Now, are you or any of your neighbors or friends, are you one of those that I've heard during after the Seahawks win, some people have fireworks that they let off after a big Seahawks win?
Every time?
Yeah. There's some people that do that.
Yeah, I'm not down with that. I'm sorry, please.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then there's one other person, Chris in Marysville says, I don't necessarily think we should get rid of personal fireworks. However, we should have some type of limit on how powerful they can be for personal use.
I agree. These things are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, question. Mm-hmm. Do you like those when you go to the grocery store, see the digital coupon, use your digital coupon, and it's dramatically lower than the actual price that is listed? Do you like the digital coupons?
I never. The only thing I ever pay attention to is when I'm in Albertsons or Safeway. They got the manager special that's right there on top, and you peel it off and you have the coupon.
Yeah.
Or let's say some salmon or some steaks or something like that.
No, so you can sign up. So a lot of groceries are doing this with the digital coupons. You sign up for them, and then here's the problem. Mm-hmm. To get those big discounts, there are some people who aren't doing this stuff online. Mm-hmm. Or, I'm going to be honest. I actually had to have someone who works at the grocery store help me, show me how to download it, blah, 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 and be able to use it. I had to rent a millennial at the grocery store because I was like, I am not paying full price.
You did that at the customer service desk. Don't tell me you did that when it was time to check out.
It was the customer service. Come on.
Okay. Because for all of you all having all of these questions and issues when you're checking out while we are in line, it's terrible.
Yeah. So this is something that Kroger is trying to change. They did get some complaints a few years ago. 3 years ago, there was a coalition of consumer groups that urged a dozen of the largest U.S. supermarket chains to stop discriminating against senior citizens and low-income shoppers who are unable to take advantage of in-store digital-only discounts because they don't have reliable internet access or own smartphones. I think that's legit.
I think so, too.
So Kroger is now at select stores, including QFC and Fred Meyer's in Seattle. You can now grab a printed flyer at the entrance with all of the weekly digital deals. I did not know this until I read this on Como 4 News. And you can scan one barcode at checkout and you get the savings. You don't have to have the smartphone. You don't have to have an app.
No.
I
have an idea.
Just get rid of them.
Just give us the deal.
Give the discount.
Just give the discount.
And you know why they don't do that?
Why?
Because they want your information. Because they don't have enough of your information. So you're basically giving up your information, access to, you give me something, we give you something. But there are too many people who get, and honestly, if I have to do more than 3 steps, I'm not going to do it.
Who remembers going to Radio Shack back in the day and you go to buy something and when you buy it, you get the rebate, but you had to fill out all the information and send it off?
Yeah.
Question. How many Radio Shacks are in the state of Washington right now?
I don't believe there are any, are there?
Bingo, because of them damn rebates.
You think that's what it was?
If you get with the times.
Yeah.
Quit making us have to fill out this whole thing and then send it off, and then they tell you you don't get the rebate because you had a sentence wrong or you said something wrong. That's why Radio Shack ain't here no more, because you kept making people have to go send off for the rebate.
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's more reasons why Radio Shack might not be here anymore.
But that didn't help them. That did not help them.
Wait, Sophia, have you ever been inside a Radio Shack?
I have a vague memory when I was a child of entering into a Radio Shack.
Look at what people are saying. Bob and Edmonds, I hate digital coupons and I won't use them. It's like, yeah, you know what? Don't make it complicated. We all love a good deal. Just give us the, and we'll be loyal shoppers.
Yes, ladies, don't be complicated.
Ladies. Okay, how about this? Do you know that Cal Raleigh has now officially launched himself into Seattle Mariners history, and he's not even done.
This is blasted way back. Cal Raleigh, how far? All the way up to the second deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every single time I want to hear about something positive about the Mariners, it's always involving Cal Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So he belted in 2 more home runs, Friday's 6-0 win over Pittsburgh. He has now tied Ken Griffey Jr.'s franchise record for most home runs before the All-Star break.
35.
That's at 35.
Yeah.
And when asked about his own Mariners Mount Rushmore, apparently he didn't hesitate. He said Ichiro, Felix, Randy Johnson, of course, Griffey. Now, should Cal Raleigh be on the Mount Rushmore of Mariners, or is it too early?
Put him on there right now. Put him on there right now, and I don't know if Nick's gonna be mad at me or not. But as of right now, you got to put him on there. 35 home runs, tied for the most home runs before All-Star break. Oh, by the way, he is the second hitter, right? That's been a non-pitcher that has been a starter since 2015 when my man Nelson Cruz was the starter as an All-Star. He's a starter this year as an All-Star. And the one last thing. The city of Seattle was loving on Cal Raleigh before Cal Raleigh became a big deal that he is now.
Yeah.
My man is doing his thing. So, Nick, can I put him on?
I think it's a little too early right now because he's still playing right now. Mount Rushmore is more of a representation of like who's been,
who's done
the best and who's been accomplished at that point.
Okay.
I think if Cal Raleigh continues to play the way he's been this year and in years forward, he will be there. I think it's a toss-up right now in my opinion, between him and Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson's on there. You got Ichiro, Griffey, and Edgar, in my opinion. Randy's right there,
Edgar.
but Randy could be switched with Cal if Cal keeps it up.
Oh, yeah. Who would you bump?
Edgar.
Okay, so
bump Edgar right now.
Whoa. It took him so long to get it. Wait, why is that?
I don't know, because
he's only a designated hitter?
I thought we were going to do a new segment once a week. Of
What's G going to say that's going to hack people off?
Full take there.
You're killing me. Okay, but Cal Raleigh, being the humble person that he is, he said to even be mentioned with Ken Griffey's name, he says he's just blessed.
Julio Rodriguez is an all-star. What do you think about that?
Did he earn it this season? Help me.
Nick, I don't know. Help me, Nick.
I will say part of the voting in the All-Star, game and the roster is it's a popularity contest, part of it. And when you look at his numbers, he's technically one of the better center fielders in the game right now. But it's because there's not too much competition amongst those position players. So
it's not about his hitting.
It's just because I think he's a center fielder, and the center fielders aren't playing at their best right now. So he's kind of slipping in there. I wouldn't say he's playing up to his potential at this moment, though.
Okay. But Cal Raleigh is only 28 years old. Someone was asking, does he like his name, the Big Dumper? Yeah. I even feel shy even saying the name, the Big Dumper.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if I would like a name that talks about my big booty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's sexist. I mean, now, if this was the other way around.
But it's because he's a catcher, right? And he has to do the squats all the time.
If this was the other way around, ladies, you all know.
Okay, no one's calling me the Big Dumper. That's not happening.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he loves it. Have you seen all the commercials he's in lately? He's loving the attention.
Yeah, someone said, just make sure he stays in Seattle. Well, that's kind of guaranteed, right?
Oh, yeah, he signed that
6-year, $105 million extension this spring.
Nick, you think he has a little bit of regret on signing that $100 million deal?
The fans love him here. He's getting a lot of media attention lately.
Yeah,
I think he loves that nickname.
Yeah, media attention don't pay bills.
Yeah, but $105 million is going to do just fine. And he says he is focused on earning every single penny, not just with his bat. Okay, this is what I love. I love everything about him. He says, but as a leader in the clubhouse too.
So do you feel comfortable calling him Big Dumper?
If he loves it, sure.
There's people who get jerseys with Big Dumper on the back with this jersey number.
It's catchy. The man who likes to give people nicknames. Chef is stuck with Chef because of you.
Because you imagine if I gave a nickname here at KIRO of the Big Dumper, I'd be at HR quick. You can't just call them the Big Dumper.
But he loves it.
Okay. Good stuff.
Okay, Robin Puyallup says once a week between Facebook and the show, G has at least 2 things that has hacked people off in the last 24 hours.
Okay. Okay, you guys want to know? All right, wait, don't leave yet. Wait, listen. I said this on my Facebook page, and I got family members upset with me. Here's my take. Here we go. Ben Affleck is a better actor than Samuel L. Jackson. Text in if you think I'm crazy, or text in if you agree. 888-973-5476. Ben Affleck is a better actor than Samuel L. Jackson.
I actually agree.
Oh!
Ben Affleck's a good actor. He
He
might annoy the heck out of me personally.
That's what I'm saying. People don't respect Ben Affleck. That dude is an incredible actor. And I try to tell people Samuel L. Jackson is an incredible actor too.
Yes.
But he's not a lead number 1. Most of the time, he is a co-lead or a number 2. Ben Affleck be carrying movies. Y'all think I'm crazy? All right, what are we doing at 11:30, Ursula?
We're going to do Agree to Disagree, and we got some doozies in there. We got some good stuff.
All right, do that next. Gee and Ursula. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
Get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Being the new kid in high school is hard. I didn't know if I would be accepted or if I'd fit in, because being known is key to who we are. Hi, I'm Peyton Seal. When I first came to King Schools, I knew something was different. My teachers cared about me. I have community. I'm learning who God called me to be.
Sign up for a tour today, and if you enroll, just mention this ad and pay no application fee. Visit joinkings.org for more info. That's joinkings.org, building resilient disciples of Christ through Christian education for 75 years.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hartley and Brent Wilcox talking about Wilcox Family Farms.
Dad, I've really enjoyed all the community events we've been doing. One question I get asked a lot is, how long has our family had the farm? When I tell them since 1909, they're surprised. Why do you think that is?
I imagine it's because that's a long time, and many farms have been bought by big corporations that put profits first.
Growing up on the farm, I feel like we put people and the well-being of our hens first.
We do, and as you know, free-range and mobile pasture hens have organic soil to forage and do what they naturally would do. This takes more time and money, but it's the right thing to do. It's better for the hens and makes for great tasting eggs.
I agree. Here is Mike to tell you where you can find locally fresh Wilcox Family Farms eggs.
For fresh, local, pasture-raised, omega-3, hard-boiled, and other fresh eggs, choose Wilcox Family Farms. Look for Wilcox eggs at Safeway, QFC, and PCC Natural Markets. Wilcox Family Farms.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
If you have aging parents, you've probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub, it's a slip and a disaster waiting to happen. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. With BathFitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just one day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. Call BathFitter today or visit BathFitterNW.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words. Packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. At least 90 people are now confirmed dead after flash flooding in central Texas, where the Kirk County Sheriff says,
"We continue to offer our condolences to those affected. Reuniting the families remain our top priority here."
Among those killed, 27 girls and counselors at a camp along the Guadalupe River. 9-year-old Braden and his 7-year-old brother Brock were at a different camp in that area.
The current is just rushing, and you have no idea what's going on. So I just imagined it for Brock. To be honest, I was more worried about Brock than myself.
Brock and his buddies had to scramble to the rafters.
We had to get on the rafters, and then my door flew away.
The boys are back with family now. There were flood warnings, but the river rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes. President Trump is meeting with Israel's prime minister at the White House in the latest effort to get a ceasefire in Gaza. The latest from CBS's Natalie Brand.
The big sticking point that's been reported about is, would this ceasefire deal lead to a more permanent end of the fighting?
New Trump tariffs are supposed to kick in this week, but the White House is indicating that deadline might be moved to August 1st for countries willing to negotiate. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
So it's basically a warning or a threat, if you will, to other countries. Hey, even if you're not happy with where these deals stand, even if you've got outstanding concerns, send us your best offer, cut a deal with us, sign on the dotted line, or you are going to see your tariff rates increase.
There is evidence artificial intelligence is starting to replace entry-level jobs. More from Allie Bauman.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering, but this summer he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for nearly 200 positions.
I was told by a lot of people that I was going to get a job right out of college, and then all of a sudden, there's no jobs.
New research finds now, for the first time ever, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates has exceeded the national unemployment rate, ballooning to 6.6% over the past 12 months.
Wall Street does not like the confusion over Trump's tariffs. The Dow is down 646 points now, NASDAQ off 269. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, hang on one second. A crash is blocking a lane on I-90 westbound near State Route 18. A disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on the I-90 bridge eastbound. You're slow, but I'm not seeing a significant backup there just yet. A crash is blocking a lane on State Route 518 at 51st Avenue South. You're backed up to the airport, and you are still crawling along JBLM I-5 southbound. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia, 55 minutes, still about 20 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. Right now it's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Let's get to it. Let's do our scenarios. Oh, actually, let's do our agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters. This show is going.
You got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it. What base you on right now, Ursula?
Okay, you would think that I'm rounding up third base and at home plate again. I mean, this show has been going so fast. I was thinking we're still in scenarios.
Look, this whole Best Actor conversation has been going on my Facebook, on the text line, in my inbox. Ursula, somebody got on my Facebook. And you ain't gonna believe what these folks said. This person said that Denzel Washington does not have a lot of range as an actor.
Denzel? How did he get brought in?
Oh, because now we've morphed into top 5 actors.
Oh. Okay, what was your big statement, though, for people who are just tuning in?
Oh, my big statement is Ben Affleck is a better actor than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Most of the text line disagrees with me.
They do.
Some of you all agree, and I'll be taking a step further. Samuel L. Jackson is not a lead. He's usually the number 2 or the number 3. He's not someone who can carry a movie.
But he makes the movie.
Agree. And if you rack him and stack him, watch this. What word is Samuel L. Jackson known for? Okay? Yes. He's known for the MF word, meaning Samuel L. Jackson a lot of times plays the same role.
Okay. So in other words, Denzel Washington has range, but Samuel Jackson does not.
Ben Affleck has more range than Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay. Those are fighting words apparently for some. Okay, well, that was a bonus agree to disagree.
It was.
Okay, I know. People are just, you can agree to disagree. But what I wanted to talk with you guys about today is the job market. It's a tough job market, and it's getting to the point where employers are actually doing what they've never done before. They're being straight up about what actually could be described as their job's red flags, meaning they're telling applicants that, hey, like, you might not have a work-life balance here. According to the Wall Street Journal, companies are also saying or putting into job postings, you may work over 40 hours a week. 60 to 80 hours a week may be the norm here. You have to embrace the hustle to succeed. And people are so desperate for a job that, you know, they're agreeing to these applications. The job market is bad, but many people have had unfavorable experiences due to a lack of clearly outlined job expectations. You start a job, you think you're going to have your 40 hours of work, and then you very quickly learn that it's 60. And now employers are being honest from the get-go. So do we like this? Would you prefer to have this transparency or just not know at all? Gee?
Yes, I want the transparency. And here's some transparency, and Ursula hates it when I make sweeping statements. If you are concerned with work-life balance, then it's going to be hard for you to make money. Look, y'all get mad at me all you want to. I've been doing a good job of it. You want to make money? You want to be able to do all the things and live in the Seattle area, live in the state of Washington where the cost of living is insane? You're going to have to do some extraordinary things while working. This whole work-life balance, I need to work this much and I play this much. And it's a myth. Don't get fooled. You need to work. Show me you're working, like Ursula is going to disagree with me. But remember, Ursula has been at the job for 37 years. So whatever Ursula is getting ready to say right now, please don't believe it. Because Ursula has you have worked really hard at this job. So much so, did you not, true or false, did you go to the emergency room?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
More than once. Okay. So a couple of things. One is, first of all, I agree. I would prefer transparency. Don't sugarcoat what it is. In fact, I love that Washington State passed the law, which I don't even think goes far enough, which requires companies to put it out there, put the wage scale and the salary range for a position, and make it accurate on all job postings. I think the more information, the better. I agree with you only to a point, which is, when you first start a job, if your first thing is to make demands within your first weeks of needing to have work-life balance, that is something that you should aspire to have. But if you aren't looking for different ways that you can basically make your mark, go above and beyond, do this. I mean, my first probably 10 years of working here, I don't even know what a 40-hour work week is.
You're doing your thing.
Yeah, and you expect to work holidays. You expect to work weekends. Who's going to be the first one that has to give up a holiday? Yes, I mean, there was a time briefly where there was such an oversaturation of open jobs that people were desperate. People in the employer position, we're desperate, like, hey, we're going to promise you this, promise you that. We're not in that situation right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with you that you cannot make those demands right away. But I think once you've proven your worth, or you have worked your time, or you've developed some kind of work history, then you can make some of those things when they realize you are valuable and we want to keep you, because it is not sustainable to work the way you're saying that you need to work.
My man Cletus texted in, and I got to agree with Cletus. If you are in your 20s or even early 30s, I should never hear the words work-life balance come out of your mouth. It shouldn't even exist. You should be getting it. These are the things that I say off the air, so I'll say it on the air. If you're in your 20s, you better be.
Yes.
What?
But not to the point where you make yourself sick. And I say that, and it's the advice that I give my sons as well. No job is worth your mental health or your physical health.
I be hearing from some of these employers, and they tell me right now, it's hard out here to find people that want to work.
Emily Kirkland.
They will text in, and they will call the job to call off. Hey, excuse me, boss, but my dog has a runny nose. I'm not going to be able to come in today.
Okay.
My cat has a hairball. I'm not going to be able to come in today.
I think that's a little misconstrued, though. I think that's kind of like the hyped up talk of nobody
like
wants to work
toast.
because people want to work. It's the tough to the point where employers are even getting to the point where they're confident enough to be hey, your life might suck here.
I never said that. I don't like the whole they don't want to work. I never said that. What I said specifically is the whole calling in for my cat having a hairball.
But again, I think that's a little convoluted. I don't think everyone. I don't think that many people are doing that.
I'm going to do a sweeping statement. I'm going to do a generalization. If you are still insisting that you have Mondays and Fridays off, and you have a government job, if you are still insisting that you have Mondays and Fridays off, and that you are working just as much from home, I don't believe you.
Sweeping statement. If you work from home, and in 2025, you have not used one PTO. All right. Let me cut my sweeping statements. By the way, I'm done for the day. I've made enough people mad.
Good thing, because since we're at the end of the show.
Boy, so many people mad at me today. We got to do a new segment. Oh, by the way, we did a Would You Rather segment.
Yeah, we're going to do that again.
This week? Okay.
Yes, let's do it again this week.
Would You Rather? All right, coming up next, your text messages, your feedback. By the way, Ursula's here, so she'll read your text messages, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. It's G and Ursula.
You listen to Seattle's morning news every morning. What do Charlie and Manda listen to every afternoon?
I absolutely love listening to John Curley because he makes you think, which I love.
John has a real special talent in being able to talk about the topics we care about, but he's always trying to make it fun. And you're going, this guy actually gets it.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio App.
I bet every one of us knows someone affected by cancer. But how many of us know a child with cancer? I got news for you. Cancer doesn't discriminate, and cancer doesn't wait. Hey, it's G. Scott. We're lucky to have Seattle Children's Hospital as they're leading the charge in pediatric cancer research with a revolutionary treatment called immunotherapy. It's a game changer, reprogramming a child's own T cells to find and destroy cancer cells. That means fewer harsh side effects from chemo or radiation and more hope. But here's the hard truth. Pediatric cancer research is severely underfunded. That's why I'm asking you for help. This July, join me in Safeway by donating at checkout. Become an immunohero. Your donation fuels life-saving research and gives families something priceless. More time, more options, more hope. It's easy. Next time you're at Safeway, just say yes to donate. Together, we can fight cancer for all kidkind. Thank you for being an immunohero.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
I was chatting with my friend Jonathan from DUI Heroes, and he told me that a lot of people don't realize roadside standardized field sobriety tests are voluntary, meaning you don't have to perform them. You can simply say, no, thank you. You could also ask to speak with the lawyer immediately, which he strongly recommends you do. The police are building a case against you. Don't risk further implicating yourself. Call DUI Heroes immediately, 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com, your DUI defense specialist.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words. Packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions, like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula says that this show has gone by fast. I think I know why. And so, Ursula, if you want me to keep doing it, I think it was the amount of sweeping statements that I have made on this show today. So if you
Should
want
we
me
come up with a new phrase other than sweeping statements?
What you want to call it?
G-isms?
I was going to say something about that.
Okay, maybe not.
No. So
okay.
So he said,
Yeah.
you want me to come up with a new Fresh Fridays?
No.
Well, I was saying like earlier, I was like, G just has hot takes, and they're every day. It's not even hot anymore because it's just his take.
Here it is. She's hot takes.
All right.
Okay.
What we got, Ursula? I got the news boss open.
On the Texas flooding, Kevin in Seattle said, Texas flooding absolutely horrific. That said, it does not have to be political to try to figure out what could have been done differently and how such disasters can be avoided in the future, including looking into recent staffing cuts to weather service and emergency response teams. If you heard our conversation with our meteorologist, Ted Beener, he said that, yes, there have been cuts that have been bad for the National Weather Service and other agencies. However, it was all hands on deck. So there's going to be a lot that we learn in the days ahead. Read what Ted Beener wrote. I think it's really important as it pertains to Western Washington as well.
Yep.
You can find that on mynorthwest.com.
On Elon's potential of a new party, Aaron in Tacoma says, as it's been mentioned many times on this show, and you're not wrong in saying it, there needs to be an alternative to the state government system we have. Regarding Elon being the guy, if he wants to pay for it, sure. But in no way should he be the one to be elected.
Just a slight correction. It was a stale government system. He's tired of what we have.
Oh, stale.
425 says, America is a two-party system, yes. But if ever there was a time for a third to come into fruition, it would be right now.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Susan in Kent says, totally agree about the two big political parties. They care about their party instead of country first. And so corrupt. The Drake comparison is spot on. Susan and Kent, you know about Drake? It's well done, Susan. Okay.
And then there's 425 who says, I'm all for it because it'll split the MAGA vote and help Dems win in 2026. This is why Trump hates this idea. Okay, can I just put one more plug in about voting?
Yeah.
If you sat this last one out, you were part of the problem. You've got to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I did mention that I don't know that we could have another Trump-like figure in the future. I was asking if this is a unique presidency or a one-off. Scott on Orcas says, I agree with G. Sadly, this is who we've become. I just don't believe it. Trump's way of behaving and speaking would not have been tolerated in the past. I'm trying to imagine if Bill Clinton or George W. or, God forbid, Obama had said something like that, they would have been drummed out of town.
David the Milkman. Can we really call him David the Milkman?
Yes, because he is truly a milkman.
Oh, okay. Trump has changed politics forever going forward.
And then Kevin in Seattle says, it is a one-off. Once people realize their lives and pocketbooks aren't getting better, America will move on.
Some of your very cool talents. Roger in the UP says, I can look at the license plate of a vehicle and know instantly what the numbers add up to.
Kate in Auburn says, my husband marvels at my ability to start a conversation with anyone.
Sarah in Ferndale says, I have the weird ability to remember my friends' kids' ages, even if we aren't close.
Okay, that's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
And then we mentioned earlier, 253 said, my skill is picking the perfect size of Tupperware for leftovers every time. That's a skill. That is a skill.
Carl in Wilkinson says G theory instead of sweeping statement.
Oh, there you go.
I like that. Someone, Scott in Auburn, also said G generalization. I like the alliteration.
Or Risa from Redmond, the world according to G. No, I don't like that one.
Okay, on agree to disagree on that work-life balance, 206 said, our whole crew is remote and we still have people calling in because their cat has a hairball on a weekly basis.
Ursula, it's now time for your words to live by.
I was thinking about how we often say we just need to have basic human decency.
Yeah.
We cannot be a great country without basic human decency. Not everyone is able to show courage, but human decency must be demanded of every single one of us. Aspirational.
That is. It's good stuff. Brother Nick!
Well, now the weekend's over after extra added days and the pyrotechnic lovers got their fix out of the way. There's no excuse for hearing extra roaring in the sky, and if I see mortars flying, you know I'll be asking why.
Silence is golden.
Just think of it as hot dog eating getting extra TV time. You get it once or twice, but any more and it's a crime. You know, once might be too many for those hot dog chompers, though. I can't even take a few seconds looking at that over there.
I love it. Once again, he's wrapped it all up. Now, if you still have a bunch of leftover fireworks, could you please think of your neighbors?
Yeah.
and your pets
Yeah.
and your neighbors' pets and people with PTSD. Sir, public service announcement. There are people who really don't do well with the fireworks. It's over. Save it for next year.
Ursula, what was the best thing you had to eat on the 4th of July? One thing. It was the best.
My sister's dish, I picked the taco salad. That was not a good choice. She picked something that had beef and mushrooms and gravy, and it was delish.
Oh.
What did you have?
Yo, the quinoa salad that Costco got.
Oh,
man, that thing good. I had to went yesterday go pick it up again.
What kind of salad?
It was a quinoa salad.
Oh,
yeah,
quinoa.
Thing was good. I didn't have the normal. I didn't cook.
Quinoa?
Is it cane or quinoa? It's cane.
It's quinoa. Yeah, quinoa.
Is it
quinoa?
Hold on.
I was thinking like quinoa, like it's Chinese.
Wait, is it quinoa or quinoa?
Quinoa.
Keen.
It's spelled like it looks like quinoa, but it's quinoa.
Like as in K-E-E-N.
It's not quinoa. It's quinoa.
We got to go. The Jake and Spike Show coming in. Next is quinoa.
Not quinoa.
Appreciate you listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Silence is golden, golden.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust